Peace and blessings. The following is a video presentation for the Sacred Breath Archives entitled Understanding the Golden Rule. In Matthews 7:12 and Luke 31 of the Bible, we find the following words: "Do unto others that which you would have done unto yourself." Many are familiar with this verse attributed to Yeshua, Jesus. They may also know it under the title of the Golden Rule. The concept of the Golden Rule can be found throughout many different cultures and religions all over the world. Unfortunately, these days, many also consider it to be irrelevant to our times because of the misperceived worldview of moral relativism and the pandemic of selfless people living inauthentic lives. An accurate understanding of the Golden Rule requires an accurate understanding of morals and what is right or righteous, as well as a true understanding of who and what you are, that is, what is the self. When these are understood, the Golden Rule will automatically take its rightful place as the most important and accurate single-sentence summary of proper moral conduct that we have. First, let's take a look at morals and the destructive concept of moral relativism. The following is taken from the webpage moralrelativism.info. Moral relativism is the philosophical theory that morality is relative, that different moral truths hold for different people. It comes in two forms: ethical subjectivism and cultural relativism. Ethical subjectivism holds that morality is relative to individuals. Cultural relativism holds that it is relative to the culture. Both deny the existence of moral absolutes, of objective moral truths that hold for all people in all places at all times. According to moral relativism, it makes no sense to ask the abstract question whether a given act is good or bad. According to moral relativism, there is no goodness or badness in the abstract. There is only goodness or badness within a specified context. An act may thus be good for one person but bad for another, or good in one cultural setting but bad in another, but cannot be either good or bad full stop. If moral relativism is true, therefore, then we should not ask whether an act is good or bad in the abstract, but only whether it is good or bad in a particular situation. This has become the prevailing worldview of so-called modern society. Even though many would claim they believe in universal morality, their actions say otherwise. Too often, people find themselves making choices that simply reflect a fear of loss on the physical plane and the concept of doing what is right or good for me, acting through base, animalistic desires without a higher intelligence keeping it in check. One of the reasons this has come about is due to the misperceived idea that universal morals come to us in the form of a holy book or person as rules of what we are and are not allowed to do. Whilst true morality can be expressed in writing or through words, it nevertheless is and can only ever be a proxy of the truth instead of the truth itself. True morality must be experienced both within oneself and witnessed as the underlying foundation of all of existence. In this way, morality is seen as the relational principles that govern the interaction of all things in existence. It is as simple as understanding that just as when the apple falls from a tree it is pulled to the earth by a force we call gravity, so too is our behavior, that is, our intentions and interactions with the world around us, governed by similar laws. The universe, nature, or neter, is in a constant state of maintaining equilibrium. This is the reason for the law of cause and effect, and why for each action there is an equal and opposite reaction. This equilibrium, homeostasis, or balance, is the origin of what we call morals. Any action that is in disharmony with the maintenance of this equilibrium is therefore wrong, bad, or evil. Any action that is in harmony with the maintenance of equilibrium is therefore right, good, or just. The particulars of remaining in harmony with natural equilibrium lie in the understanding of ownership. Non-free will entities automatically come under the responsibility of the natural world or God, if you like. Their role in the maintenance of homeostasis in the universe is self-regulated. Free will entities are granted right of ownership to themselves, that is, their life and that which is needed to preserve it, i.e. food, shelter, clothing, etc., and to express it so long as it doesn't infringe on those same rights of others. And there is no reason it should, as we live in a universe of abundance and self-replenishment. This right of ownership to ourselves is granted by the simple fact of existing in the universe. We do not have to earn these rights. We do not have to plead for these rights from a government or any other disillusioned so-called authority. These rights cannot be given or taken away by any man or group of men. Because we, that is, each one of us as an individual, have been granted our right of ownership by nature, God, we therefore have no right to take away from anyone else's rights. Put as simply as possible before we move on, what is right, good, or just is any action that does not infringe on the rights of any other entity. What are the rights of those entities? To do whatever they will, so long as it does not infringe on the rights of others. This universal system of morality, equilibrium, homeostasis, balance, or what should be seen as the correct foundation of the word love, is a beautifully self-regulating system. We can either choose to be a part of it or suffer the harsh process of a universe that maintains balance. Now let's take a brief look at the self, at knowing who you are. The very notion of knowing oneself immediately implies the fact that I cannot tell you who you are. No one can. No book, guru, religion, societal status quo, or any external influence can know who you are for you or tell you who you are. Therefore, the following will simply be information regarding the self that directly relates to an understanding of the Golden Rule. An important part of knowing the self as it relates to understanding the Golden Rule is the fact that for you as a self to experience life in the universe, you rely on the existence of that universe and everything in it. You are in a constant relationship of interdependence with any and everything you interact with. So much so that the universe around you becomes an extension of yourself, not by means of ownership but by means of interdependence. Effectively, what you do to others or to the universe, you do unto yourself and vice versa. The most important part of knowing oneself as it relates to the Golden Rule, however, is respect and love of oneself. This is the part that ties it all together. If you have respect and love of self, it eliminates the potentiality of subjectivity when it comes to what you would have done unto yourself. One who has a correct understanding of morality and its foundation in the law of equilibrium of the universe, and who knows the self as it relates to the universe, and who loves and respects the self, will find nothing outdated or irrelevant in the Golden Rule. They will desire nothing less than that which is right, good, and just in accordance with universal law done unto themselves, and, in knowing themselves as an extension of the universe and the universe as an extension of themselves, will desire nothing less than the same for all in existence and will act accordingly. In summary, if we take one more look at the Golden Rule, do unto others that which you would have done unto yourself, we see that a correct understanding of the Golden Rule starts with knowledge and understanding of the very last word in it, yourself.